All right. What did the dentist say when he removed the wrong tooth?
I
Then
don't
it
know what
was
he
an
said.
accidental. Accidental. All right. All right. So today we have CJ Petrin joining us. He's the 2025 U.S. Amateur Champion, four-time collegiate All-American, intercollegiate singles semifinalist, and a two-time member of Team USA. Let's welcome CJ. All right. So let's jump right into it. When did you first start bowling, CJ?
I was pretty young. I started when I was 5, and then didn't get into a league until I was about 8, and then got a coach about the year after, and just kept rolling with it.
Um, when did you first realize you were good at it?
To be honest, I don't even know. I mean, I've just been bowling and bowling and bowling, and then I'd set new highs within every couple months, and then probably when I got a little bit taller, there was a little bit of a struggle stretch there. I went like 7 months of struggling, just trying to adapt to the height that I grew to. I feel like after that, once me and my coach got to figuring out the leverage and arm swing and all that stuff again, back through the basics, it felt like that was about the time that I realized that I was getting to a point where I was like, okay, I feel like I can take my game to the next level.
How tall are you? You're almost my height, aren't you? 6'2",
Um,
6'3"?
I'm a little over that. I'm about 6'4.5" is the last time I got measured.
Whoa. Well, I can relate to that. Sometimes getting low to the foul line's a little tough.
Yeah, it wears and tears on the knee and the lower back. So
Did you play other sports growing up?
yeah, I played as much as I can. Just obviously focusing on the injury part. I didn't really focus too much actually on that when I was growing up. But I played football, basketball, and throughout my middle school years, and then transitioned into high school. I went to golf and uh, golf and tennis.
Were you a good golfer?
I'm all right. I mean, I haven't played in a while, but back when I was playing pretty consistently, I felt like I was get with the clubs I had. I felt like I was playing pretty good, and I was getting into like those low 80s, high 70s.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of really good bowlers are also really good golfers.
Yeah, I've definitely asked a couple. Like
Let's
EJ's
see.
+2, Ronnie's like a +4. I asked him. I've heard Alec Keplinger's a scratch golfer. Tommy Jones is also very good. So
Did you just say Ronnie Russell's a +4?
yeah, that's what he said. He said it's like a 4.2 at the +1.2, I think.
That's amazing. I thought EJ was the best on tour. That's crazy. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's really good. I don't know why he kept balling whenever he could be on like a little pro tour, but to each their own.
Yeah, get out on the Corn Ferry Tour. The amount that we bowl for is quite a bit less than what even you would make on the Corn Ferry Tour.
Yeah, seriously, make a cut. You've made your whole
What's
year.
your yeah, for sure. What's one of your most memorable moments on the lanes?
Um, I would probably have to say either the first time I made junior team, just going through that day, and then waiting for the scores to update, and then hearing my name called, or battling it out for the U.S. Amateur title against Julian. That was a high scoring match, pretty intense match. It's a good friend of mine, and had a few lucky breaks, and then just managed to step up and throw two good ones to shut him out and eventually win the title.
Was that one of the toughest competitions you've had, or would you want to tell me about a tough moment that you can recall? I don't even know how to word that question.
Yeah, I mean that one's always a tough one. Bowling Team USA trials. There's a bunch of people bowling it at the same time. Um, Either that or probably my first regional title win. I shot 218 and other guy had 280 on me, and then the second game I absolutely had no ball reaction. Shot a buck 30. I think it was like a buck 34, buck 36, and I was in dead last, like way behind first. But we still had 10 games left, and then I found some magical ball reaction and came back all the way to win the tournament by like 12 pins.
See, that's a good one. 130 to the tournament winner. That's amazing. Let's see. Do you ever think back on a match that you wish you could redo?
Yeah, probably the freshman year, the TV show, whenever I made the intercollegiate singles championship. I wish that during that little practice time that we had before the actual lights came on, I wish me and the other right hander would have communicated a little bit better and broke them down a little bit more on the right side, so that way it would have been a little bit easier for us, as where the left probably communicated better and broke them down a lot easier, and they had a little bit better ball reaction than what me and the other righty did. I kind of want that one back just because it was my first time on TV. I was a freshman coming in and making nationals my freshman year. Like, I'd definitely say that one.
Do you get so do you when you get paired with someone that you're friends with or someone that is easy to communicate with, do you try to do that in PBA events, at least for game one on qualifying, or does it really even matter because you switch the next pair?
I mean, yeah, we'll try
Like
and
I
communicate
meant
that.
try to break them down together.
Yeah, I mean, I've
Huh?
I've tried to communicate that to some of the righties, but it's kind of tough with only three on a pair at some of these events, or the four on a pair. You always have a lefty, so it's just really communicating with the one other or the two other righties that you'll have on your pair. And if it's like one of the shorter patterns, you'll have somebody throwing probably a reactive ball outside five, and the other two throwing a urethane ball inside the 10, inside the second and third arrow, just to try and create some hold and a little bit of extra friction outside, so that way it makes it the most optimal to where you can score the highest on that first game.
That's pretty cool. You just get Dio. He's like an extra right hander.
Yeah, you never know what Diaz is gonna do. You either see him throwing a backup ball or he'll be on his own side. Who knows?
Oh, are you there? You there?
Yeah, we're good.
This out here. Um, let's go here. What does a typical tournament week look like for you guys?
Well,
What do you?
we
Well, I guess
have
I should be more.
we have practice on Mondays from pretty much from 3 to 5, so we'll get that 2 hours, and then there's a pro-am after. So we'll come back, relax, kind of talk over what we saw each during practice, other than Eric because he's on the left side. But um, then we'll have A or B squad, or we'll all be on one squad at one time, and then there's 11 and 6. So if, for instance, actually me and Bonta are the same squad tomorrow, so we'll bowl at 11 a.m., bowl our 8 games, come back, chill out for a little bit, and then TJ, Chris, Ryan, and Eric all have the 6 p.m. squads. We'll probably come back, chill out for a little bit, and then go watch them and see how they attack the lanes, and then we'll repeat
Oh
that
yeah, you
process.
guys are in New York right now, aren't you?
That we're in Rochester this week.
Nice. Is it cold up there this weekend?
I mean, the not really. I mean, today for I feel like most people it's cold for them, but I mean, for me, I like it a little bit colder, so this is good weather.
So what's it like um rooming with a Hall of Famer? So all you guys are young, like all you guys are fresh out of college. Do you guys just blow Chris up with questions every day, like to where he just goes in his room and locks his door?
No, he likes hanging out with the us younger kids. It's a moment for him. But we'll ask him some questions, and then he'll kind of relay like the differences from um, what he saw back in the day, and then what he's seeing compared to now. Seeing all the rev rate change, the amount of two handers out here now, and all that kind of stuff. So he says the game's changed a lot. And we'll go. We actually the second week we actually went back and watched some of the shows back from like the mid 2000s. So like the '05, '06, '07, those shows. It was a lot different. You'll still see some of those big name Hall of Famers like Sean Rash and Chris and Tommy. You'll see all them bowling, and still seeing them out here today when we idolized them growing up is a whole different story.
Yeah, it's amazing. Let's go here. Mm, what's the most important skill you think for a pro bowler? Physical or mental?
Most definitely mental. There's a bunch of unique styles that are out here. Between the four and then like the two handed lefty, just one handed lefty, two handed righty, one handed righty, all that instance, and then you'll have like Tim Cagle, Jacob Buttriff, all those kind of unique
I'll
ways
say
that they
then you got
throw it.
Tim Cagle.
Yeah, because I've watched him so many times. I don't know how he throws it, but yeah, no, definitely the mental. It's tough going week to week, bowling all these games, whether you make the cut or not. That takes a toll on you, and then um, going through just all the mental stress that you have to put through day in and day out, game in, game out, and all that stuff. So
How do you stay consistent under pressure? Like when it comes to 10th frame and you need all of them, how do you stay consistent?
for me, it helps, getting a good breathing routine. I like to take deeper breaths whenever I notice that, my heart rate starts going because internally I know what I need to do. So I'll take a couple extra deep breaths. I'll take a re-rack, and that really helps me calm myself down.
And I know we talked about this a little bit with you switching from Brunswick to Motive here. Was it this year that you just did that? Or
Yeah,
this
it
year?
would. Yeah, just the beginning of this year.
How do you, well, there's a bunch, this is like a inflow of questions. How do you choose your equipment in the moment, especially with Motive not having a true urethane ball? Um, how do you choose the right equipment with just having switched to Motive and now learning every ball that they have and how surface changes affects each one of them? How have you dealt with that just in the past 3 months?
Um, Honestly, a great ball rep, Brett Spangler. He's helped a lot. AJ Johnson's helped me a lot because he's been on staff with them forever, and just obtaining the knowledge from those two is honestly the best thing that could happen. Just because they understand what's going on. They've been out here for a long time, and me being the new guy, I have a bunch of questions. Mainly not one because I don't know what the balls do just yet and all that, but yeah, I'd just say asking them questions because it really helps.
How often have you see, because it's hard because you're bowling every day, but outside of the everyday bowling, how often have you been practicing with the new equipment?
Um, well, last week I had a little bit of a back issue, a morning block. So the round 3, the last 2 games, he started really aggravating me and whatnot. Um, I took a little bit of I had back-to-back 160s, which didn't help, and I was bowling fairly decent. Um, I used a Theragun, and Eric's car has heated seats. That was also nice to use for a little bit before we went back and bowled round 4. So didn't practice a whole bunch, but the other couple weeks where I didn't make a cut or whatnot, try to practice every other day just so I'm not feeling like I'm losing like my whole feel, and got to keep the physical game warm.
With big blocks like that, like, or even going into the World Series, which is going to be 86 million games in a 2 or 3 week period. How are you going to stay mentally focused to just bowl 8 games, 8 games, 8 games, 8 games, 8 games? How do you stay focused to just be in that moment each time you throw?
Just take it one shot at a time. I feel like, just gotta keep the same same routine I've been having, and just gotta make sure I just keep it one frame at a time. I don't want to think ahead or look around and see what other people are doing. I just want to keep it one frame at a time.
Um, let's see. What's one of the hardest lessons you've learned or that bowling has taught you?
Or no, there's gonna be some weeks where I don't have it, or there's gonna be some weeks that I do have it, and there's gonna be the weeks that I do have it. There's gonna be week people will have it better than I do. And since last week and Fort Wayne, I physically felt great. Felt like I was throwing the ball great, and averaging 220 got me in the low towards the bottom of the field. Um, I just gotta take those weeks and learn from it, and trying to figure out a way to get my ball to get the extra hit every the frames that the other people are getting them, and not try and leave a nine count up there.
Good here. I think I asked a little bit. What's your life on tour look like behind the scenes? Like, what do you guys do for fun besides come back and drill Chris with all those questions? You guys play video games or what do you do?
Yeah, thankfully Ryan and TJ both brought their console from their house, so in our downtime we normally play a little bit of 2K against each other, just some friendly wagers every once in a while. But we'll just chit chat about some random things that we think of, or random questions that we see on the internet. So it's been pretty fun so far. I feel like the everyone's meshing well.
Do you like being on the road and away from home? Like just getting to kind of go away and hang out with your boys?
Yeah, I mean it's been pretty fun. Traveling all these new centers that I haven't even bowled at or even knew that existed. But thankfully, actually, we'll go to Minnesota for the World Series, and that'll be my 42nd state I've been to. So that'll be another one off the 50 states. So that'll be
Well, that's
it's been
sweet.
pretty
We're trying
fun.
to get to all 15.
I'm trying to get all 50.
What's your favorite city that you've ever been to bowl in? Or favorite bowling alley or you
Oh,
both?
favorites. Honestly, I'd probably have to say Plano Super Bowl in Plano, Texas. It's just like a little suburb of Dallas. That one, big fan of Plano Super Bowl. It's very well ran, very well kept. The owners there are super nice. So I'd probably have to say Plano.
Do you have any pregame rituals or superstitions?
Um, I don't eat before I bowl just because I feel like it's normal for others to eat before they bowl, but for me, my stomach's a little bit different. So there's a different courses that could be taken there. But yeah, that, or I'll put in my AirPods and just listen to music before and get ready, like into the mood that ready to bowl.
I am the exact same way, dude. And not because it'll make me have to go to the bathroom or anything. I just don't like to be full when I eat because I feel like my flexibility goes away. I'm like 6 to 7 hours before I bowl. I will not eat. It's horrible. Um, have you ever seen anything funny during the tournament? Or if there is a funny thing that you've ever seen?
Yeah, there was a regional and Planet Bowl in Midwest City, Oklahoma that I bowled, and I was not there, but I saw it on Bowl TV. This kid got it like stuck on his thumb, and it hit the roof, and the roof, like the little styrofoam little things that protect like the insulation almost thing, fell onto the lane, so they had to take that pair out of play and whatnot. So I thought
That's
that was pretty
crazy.
funny. Yeah, it was
If
actually
you
the
weren't a
second time.
professional, what?
It was
What is
actually the
it?
second. That was the second time. The first time it caught on his thumb and went like 50 feet down the lane when he was shooting a 10 pin. It almost hit the masking unit.
You think he'd switch his thumb out at that point?
Yeah, his grip is pretty weird. So
Is it a CJ Petrin group with? Oh, we haven't discussed that. The viewers might not know. You don't bevel your holes, do you?
I bevel the thumb, but not my fingers.
Well, okay, so I know a gentleman here in Louisville, Kentucky. His name's Paul, and his span is about my same, so I can put my thumb in his balls. Um, I rolled his and almost felt like I cut my fingers off because I just zap on it as hard as I can. I flip my wrist, and he's like, just roll it, just roll it. And he's like, it keeps you from lifting up on it. Like, never again will I throw a ball like yours, which is exactly how you do it.
Yeah.
That's wild, boy. Just razor
Yeah,
blades at the tip of the finger. You have to be smooth with it.
yeah. I haven't done it for long. I did it right before my last season of college bowling, just because I was kind of getting prepared for tour and whatnot. That's kind of what it takes out here. But this year's been a little bit different with the scoring pace and new oil and all the new buildings and everyone going in blind. So it's a little different. Um, yeah, it's definitely a nicer feel. I feel like.
Have you considered putting bevels on the edges of them so that you can hit on it when you need to? Or will that cause you
Actually,
to do
yeah.
something crazy?
No, this tournament actually, I just changed all my fingers back to the bevel when I how I used to do it. I put a little bit bevel in
Yeah.
there, so now I can rip on it as hard as I want to now.
So you can be soft if you need it because you've developed that skill. But now if you need to actually flip up on it, you're not going to cut your fingers off.
Yeah,
Did you tape? Did you tape even when you didn't have bevels? Did you ever tape your fingers?
no, I didn't. I use zero accessories. I don't use tape. I don't use thumb tape. I don't use a chamois. I don't use any of that.
You don't even wipe your bowl? You don't ever wipe your bowl?
I take my ball out of the bag,
You
put
just
it on
out
the
here
rack, and then I'm ready to
crushing
go.
people like you're from the Stone Age. That's
Yeah, I
crazy.
take it out, take my ball out the bag, put it on the rack, and I'm ready to go.
Just just one ball. I just bring my one ball to the tournament, no spare ball, no tape, no wrap, no chamois, nothing. One ball, that's all.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Have
pretty
you
much how it
have
goes.
you ever have you ever competed in a one ball that's all tournament?
I have
Have you
not.
ever heard
I
anything like
actually have not. I've seen a
oh,
couple
it's super
flyers
cool.
online for those.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. You said you play music sometimes before you bowl. What is your go-to hype music?
Country music. Uh, big country music guy. I'm a big Luke Combs fan, Morgan Wallen fan. So I'll play Luke Combs' new album just came out, so I'll play that.
What else we got? Who's your biggest inspiration inside or outside of bowling?
Probably a personal coach that I've had forever, David McGowan. He put a lot of time and effort into creating me into how I am today. So he he's definitely shaped me into the bowler that I am.
All right. Now that you have a new bowling ball manufacturer, do you have a favorite bowling ball so far?
I don't want to be the average Joe and say the Venom Shock like everybody else, but I mean that one's obviously pretty good. But I'm a big fan of the pink Venom, the Hyper Venom that they've had out for a little while.
Mhm.
Brett gives me a little bit of shit every once in a while about it, but he finds it funny. So big fan of the
What
pink
about that
ball.
new Venom? What is it? The Venom cover with that big ASIM core? What is that? The new ball they just came out with?
Actually, it's the Venom core with the Evo Kysteria cover. But yeah, I'm
Okay.
that ball. I don't. That ball is pretty good. I've already drilled two of them, and I feel like they're already getting their TV time. EJ just made the show, and a bunch of other motive staffers have drilled that ball a couple times, and they're loving it so far.
Yeah, it looked super good on everything that I've seen local. Like anybody that's thrown that ball, it looks absolutely phenomenal going down the lane.
Yeah, I threw it a couple times last week, and it definitely impressed me.
What's well, I could probably guess the answer, but outside of the obvious, what are your goals for yourself in professional bowling?
I want to win out here. That's obviously the big goal. I feel like that's every like kid's dream is to win a professional title. And that's mine. I had a good chance at it the very first tournament, but nerves got a little bit to me the first round of match play. Then kind of settled back down, but it was unfortunately a little too late. So I was crawling from the bottom, so the only way was up. I've had a couple other chances, but with the scoring pace the way it is and how these professionals are showing why they're professionals, it's a lot harder than people think. But yeah, I want to cash a couple more times this season, and I want to, I want to win or make a TV show.
Well, the World Series is coming up. That's definitely lots and lots of bowling. Do you think that youth bowlers straight out of college, with you guys all being strong, young, resilient, do you think that gives you guys an advantage to go into something, not advantage necessarily on the lanes, but just as far as your body's not being sore at something like the World Series where you're going to bowl infinite games in 3 weeks?
Um, Not necessarily. These guys have been out here doing this for however long they've been out here. So they're also pretty used to it. Yeah, they might be a little bit older, and it might take them a little bit longer to warm up and whatnot. But these guys are out here for a reason, and they show why week in and week out that they can keep up with all the younger kids regardless of how old they are.
Speaking of younger kids, what is a piece of advice that you would give to the younger generation wanting to become a pro bowler?
Reach out. If you're not already in college, reach out to a bunch of colleges. It doesn't hurt to if you get rejected, you get rejected. Oh well. But you never know what college might reach back out to you. Uh, take advantage of however many practice hours you get. Hit the lanes as much as possible. Keep the shot repetition up there, and ask around. I'm sure there's a local pro in the area that they live in or somewhat close, or reach out to them on some sort of social media and just ask questions. That's the most important thing that you can do is just ask questions. Be as prepared mentally that you think you can be. and physically until you come out here and see how it actually is.
Do the lane conditions affect your strategy on how you're going to attack them?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this week we're balling on a 38-foot bear pattern, 1.3 to 1, and in a high friction bowling alley, they played pretty tricky from what we saw in practice. So I expect lots of urethane, if not urethane, the whole time. But yeah, they're hard out here. This week, it might be a sign that the PBA is getting a little tired of seeing so many records being broken in 1 week. Yeah, no, it's definitely tough out here. Just figuring out week to week, different bowling centers, different approaches, and the amount of different balls you have to throw or drill. That's another key factor is, you got to keep up with the pace. So, yeah.
Yeah, I wish the Masters would have put out a pattern like the PBA's been running. That speed bump sure killed me. What'd you think about the speed bump at the Masters?
Yeah, speed bumps normally get a little tricky. We had a couple of them at the college nationals this past year, and it definitely fooled a lot of people. Um, for me, I felt like I managed them pretty well. The right surface practice was very useful. Just having to check in and out which balls I felt like were going to roll the best that week and what surface changes or surface that I was putting on each bowling ball. I felt like I overall managed them pretty well. Enough to make the cut at least, and then the bracket was a whole different story just because it's only 2 people on a pair and you're staying on that pair for 3 games. If you didn't break them down the right way or you broke them down the wrong way, okay, to help your opponent, if you weren't bowling a lefty, then, it's going to be a little bit harder for you to beat the guy that you're bowling against.
I don't think you wanted to bowl against the lefties at any point during the Masters.
Yeah,
It
no,
looked
not
pretty
there.
smooth.
Yeah, if they had an axe or some sort of plastic ball
Well,
or the
I'm
concept,
not a right versus. Yeah, I'm
yeah,
not a
no.
right versus left guy. I don't care. Bowling's bowling. Whoever knocks down the most pins wins. But it did look. I was next to Packy all week. Had Packy on one side, Justin Knowles on the other. I want to say, oh no, Russo wasn't in my set, but I was filming for Brad and Kyle, so I got to watch Russo a bunch all week, and Jacob as well, 2 lanes down from Brad. And the left side just looked so smooth. And then I was just 170, 9 spare, 9 spare, 9 spare split, 8 spare, 9 spare split, 170 all week. It was painful for me.
Yeah, I mean, most people call that place the lefty bowl instead of thunderbolt. Righty won in there last year, so or one in there this year. So who knows? It's really just luck of the draw whenever you get to the bracket.
Did you throw the sniper all week or Down Fresh?
I actually
Did you send
don't
them?
own a sniper, so I threw a Jackal Onyx, and I kind of curved him a little bit because I broke him down in practice and created a little bump out there.
Nice. Maybe I should have watched you a little bit because I couldn't. I seemed to get to like the angle towards 5 and it would just speed up and 2 8 10 every time. And if I did hit the pocket, it would like leave an 8 pin. I just could never get the oomph into the pocket. It's weird. What time do you guys bowl tomorrow morning?
We bowl at 11 a.m.
I'll make sure I watch it. 11 and 7. Is that what you guys are bowling tomorrow?
11 and 6,
Okay. Oh,
both
that's not
Eastern
much of a
time.
break.
Yeah, I mean, but it's only
Yeah,
3 on a
that's not
pair and
much.
it's 8 games. So we said that last time,
Yeah.
but indicator is the same format, and the guys got done around. I think it was like like 2:30, 3:00. So there was like a 3-hour window in there.
All right, just time enough to take a little rest, take a little snack.
Yeah.
Well, I wish you luck, dude. I hope you make TV this week, and if not, you got one the next week, the big one. Then the World
Absolutely.
Series the next event.
No, it goes this week, and then we have the Roth Holman doubles, and then we'll have the Tournament of Champions, and then we'll have the World Series.
Oh, hurry up and win it this week so you can get in TOC.
Either this week or next week. That's the goal. I want to get in that Mansfield.
Yeah, that'd be sweet. Oh, so are you a regional champion now?
Yes, sir. 2 times.
Oh, sweet. So you could still bowl the PTQ to get in there.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, I hope you win the actual title and then you don't have to do that.
Yeah, I hope so too.
All right, CJ, I'm going to wrap this up. I definitely want to wish you luck this season.
Appreciate it.
Hang on a second with me. I'm going to stop the recording. Oh, actually, CJ, would you like to shout out your sponsors before we hang up?
Yeah, absolutely. I want to, shout out Motive Bowling, Vice Inserts, and the bowling shop and Viz Sportswear. They've been on me the whole season. I want to shout them out for believing in me and allowing me to represent them throughout this whole tour season and what's to come. So I'm hoping I can put them on TV.
All right, hang on here a second with me, CJ.